Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It is tails. Philadelphia, you won the choice. You will receive. Washington, you will kick. Which way you're standing? Philadelphia has won the choice and will receive. Good luck, Ben.
And we'll have our first look at Brian Mitchell. As the Eagles have won the toss, Mitchell will be deep, along with Damian Douglas for Michael Husted's kick.
Now, we've been so used to seeing Brian Mitchell over these years as a Washington Redskin. It's tough to see him against the Redskins, isn't it?
He'll get the return. It is tough. Brings it out of the end zone. Mitchell to about the 26. And let's take a look at the Eagle offense. First of all, up front, Trey Thomas, Welborn, Bubba Miller in the middle, Mayberry, and John Runyon. What a help he's been. The backs and receivers, Small, Mitchell, Martin, Chad Lewis, the tight end, and Charles Johnson, the other wideout. And Donovan McNabb in his second year starts at quarterback for Philadelphia. No backs behind McNabb. Empty.
One of the things Andy Reid talked about yesterday, starting the game with us.
McNabb to his tight end, Chad Lewis, complete. Lewis has had a couple of hot weeks. Here's the Washington defense. They played extremely well last week against Tampa Bay. Bruce Smith, Stubblefield, Wilkinson, and Marco Coleman. The linebackers, Barber, Smith, and LeVar Arrington. And the secondary, Deion Sanders, Mark Carrier, Sam Shade, and Champ Bailey. A lot of big names on the defensive side of the ball. 2nd and 5. McNabb back to throw it again. Around the corner, and McNabb got it back. Marco Coleman.
And there's a guy that's having a big year for these Washington Redskins. You know, we talk about Bruce Smith and how he has helped us. He has helped Marco Coleman. Marco Coleman used to play right end. Now he's playing left end. But look what he does there to John Runyon. Runyon, you know, the big-time guy that they got in the offseason. And the thing that gives him trouble is the thing that Marco Coleman just did there, speed.
Coleman had 8 sacks going in. He was the league leader. 3rd and 13. McNabb fires intended for Torrance. Small, well over his head. And the Eagles, unable to move, will have to punt.
And that was a big play by Marco Coleman because, you know, the Eagles come out. They started in that empty backfield. They get a completion. They wanted to get Donovan McNabb off to a good start. Marco Coleman goes right around John Runyon and has something to say about that.
Sean Landeta is number 7 for the Eagles. Back to punt to Deion Sanders. Good kick from Landeta. Sanders will have room to return it. The Eagles do a good job. They're down at the 30. Jason Bostic was the first Eagle down. Sanders slow getting up. Here's the Washington offensive line. They've had to put together some pieces in the middle. Samuel, Sims, Fisher, Leuenberg in place of Trey Johnson, and John Jansen, the other tackle. Fryer, Davis, centers, Alexander, and Albert Connell, the wide receivers. Don't be surprised if the Redskins don't take a shot at Connell on the first down.
Well, they go 2 tight ends, and James Thrash is out here as the only receiver.
Reverse. And that's Thrash with a lot of room. Into Eagle territory to their 45. Run out by Simon.
Yeah, we're talking about James Thrash here with 2 tight ends. You see, Thrash is the fastest of these Redskin receivers, so he starts the game. So Norv Turner says that we have to create some big plays. Now, one of the ways to create a big play is a reverse. He doesn't even wait one play. On the very first play of the game, he runs that reverse to James Thrash.
And they get 34 yards. 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 35. Gets the man in motion. Irving Fryer, about 8. Let's look at the Eagle defense. Still trying to get settled. Douglas, Thomas, the rookie Simon, Brandon Whiting up front. Gardner, Jeremiah Trotter in the middle, and Carlos Emmons. The linebackers, and the secondary, Taylor, Moore, the hard-hitting Tim Houck, and Troy Benson in the secondary.
They're going to play that hard-hitting Tim Houck, who's a strong safety, up on or around the line of scrimmage all day today like the 8th guy. See him playing close. He's playing up there for the run.
Davis. Redskin first down to about the Eagles 17. Brandon Whiting made the stop.
You know, the thing on first down, what you want to do, you know, they always talk about 8 men in the box or 8 men up. There's your 8 men there, and the reason you do that is to get an extra guy for the run. They can block 7 on the run, but they can't block 8, and you're going to have a free guy. Boy, the guy like Stephen Davis, he's good enough that he can take and beat that free guy.
Either step out of his way or run over him. Here's Davis again. To the 12, and he is hammered by Carlos Emmons.
It's interesting that they're starting now running to the left because that's behind Chris Samuels, Keith Sims, who has a bad Achilles, and they're running right at Hugh Douglas. Hugh Douglas, probably the best of the Eagle defensive linemen, but not a big, strong guy. Even though he's bigger than he was a year ago, he's gained 15 pounds, but his strength has never been a run right at.
His strength has been quickness. That's Fryer on the move again. And again, it's Davis. Stephen Davis walks in.
You see how quickly and how easy they can do that against the blitz. You see, they came on the blitz on their right side, the Eagle left side, and they ran up the middle. And that's what Norv Turner said. He said, if we catch them and we run away from the side that they're blitzing. Now, if you look, here comes a blitz. The blitz is coming from this side, and the run goes here. So if you don't run into the blitz and you run away from the blitz, then you're going to get a free ride in. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what they did to him a year ago in Washington.
They got a good block on the middle linebacker. Houston's extra point is good. And Davis did the rest.
This is a walk-in pass.
Yep. It's 7-0.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Seven 0 Washington.
Yeah, watch this from the umpires camp here. Now, the big thing is this block by Larry Centers right there on Jeremiah Trotter. You see, remember, the blitz is on the right defensive side here, so they isolate Trotter, and then Larry Centers gets the block.
Here's Brian Mitchell returning the kickoff. The ball came loose, but he was down. Washington leading on the touchdown by that man, Stephen Davis, 7-0, early in the first quarter. Back at the vet in Philadelphia, Brian Mitchell combined net yards. He just moved past Marcus Allen. He is the deep back and gets the carry. Picks up about 3.
You know, it's interesting, Pat, down there. Bruce Smith has been arguing with the officials, and what he's saying is that Trey Thomas, the left tackle, who Bruce Smith lines up over, is lining up in the backfield. He's not lining up in the ball. So if Bruce Smith lines up in the ball, he's too far away. See, here's Trey Thomas here. Here's Bruce Smith here. And he wants him to get up more on the ball.
McNabb. Incomplete. Intended for Todd Pinkston. And right now, let's send you to James Brown in Los Angeles for a game break.
Hey, Pat and John, Brett Favre's troubles in Detroit continue. Here he fumbled the ball. It's recovered by Detroit. That sets up a 30-yard field goal by Jason Hanson. They're up 3-0. You know, Brett Favre has had 17 picks in his 8 games in Pontiac. Back to Pat and John.
We're at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Redskins lead the Eagles 7-0. And McNabb is back to throw again. Torrance Small out of bounds as he crosses the 50. Flag on the play.
It's going to be in the area where they call offensive holding. It's probably going to be against the Eagles. Well, it is against the Eagles right there. They finally, you know, that the thing with Torrance Small there, the way to beat a man-to-man is you can run up, you know, and run a deep pattern. And the other way to beat him with speed is to run across, which he just did
Pass interference. Offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Third down.
That's Chad Lewis, the tight end.
And you know, they coming off the line of scrimmage or to get open, they can't push or shove either. So that's the thing. You know, you always think that pass interference is on the defensive guy, but when the ball is in the air, if an offensive guy is grabbing or pushing or shoving or blocking or doing anything like that, then that's offensive pass interference.
McNabb back to throw again. Protection breaks down and he breaks out. And this he can do.
Yep, and it came on a stunt. They just missed a stunt. Bruce Smith came to the inside. Watch him, and that's why he's so mad. He's going to have him because he comes right here. You see him come inside there, and they let him go. John Welborn lets him go, so Bruce Smith gets a free shot at Donovan McNabb, and he misses it. See him take that inside.
Landetta back to punt it. And Deion Sanders back to return it. Not one of his better efforts. Takes an Eagle bounce down to the 30. The Eagles saying it hit the Redskins, but it didn't. Not in the opinion of the officials anyway. 9 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first quarter. The Redskins 7, Philadelphia nothing.
Well, that's David Terrell right here. Anytime you're on a punt return and the ball hits the ground, everyone yells, "Get away, get away, get away," because if the ball touches you, then the punting team can recover and it's their ball. That came very, very close to touching Terrell.
He got away. Here's Davis picking up 9.
Yeah, one of the things that the Eagles talked about is that they have to stop Stephen Davis. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to take care of that business, and they were going to try and do it with 8 men in the box. But the Redskins, I think, really threw the Eagle defense off balance a little by starting the game with that reverse.
With that reverse, yeah.
You know, and then do we flow? Do we not flow? And that really slows down pursuit. A reverse does.
2nd and 1. Davis again. First down and more. Crosses into Eagle territory before Bobby Taylor brings him down.
Stephen Davis is something special. I mean, he's the type of guy that can do both. I mean, he can slash and just take it in there hard and run you over, or he can make the move. Like, this is a heck of a move. I mean, he started out, if you say that the 6 hole was the off tackle on the right, he started off running in the 6 hole and ended up on the other side in the 7 hole.
I think he's a lot faster than people think he is, too.
He's a lot quicker.
Maybe that's right, quicker. Brad Johnson setting screen to Davis, who dropped it.
The heck was that move Brad Johnson did? That was like a pirouette.
It was a pirouette.
What's that word? He did a pirouette. There's what he was trying to do, or what he was doing, I guess. I mean, who am I to say? But he was trying to fake screen left and screen right.
This is, he needs to be in the band for this one.
You see, he's going to fake a screen here to the left. See, that's what he's doing. See, fake the screen there, and then in faking the screen to Larry Centers, he does a complete 360 degrees. Where the heck did that come from?
Very artistic. Davis. Flag on the play. As Davis picked up about 6 or 7. Simon made the stop.
He's a good player, that Corey Simon. I've been watching him on film, and he is very active. He was the Eagles' #1 draft choice, and they need a more dominant front-line player, and he is that guy.
Holding. Offense. Number 83. 10-yard penalty.
Albert
Repeat the
Connell
down.
called
Second down.
for holding.
I wonder what Albert Connell was doing. I mean, here he is right here. And again, not the most physical of receivers, nor the most physical of defenders. I mean, whatever you call that, I would just say that's terrible football. It's a long-distance flag throw on that one, but neither one of those guys, Albert Connell nor Bobby Taylor, are really physical guys.
This is James Thrash, who was lined up in the backfield. For a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, you know, Charlie Batch has been having his struggles in Detroit. Here he correctly reads the blitz, finds Johnny Morton, who beats Tyrone Williams 42 yards to pay dirt. 10-0 Detroit. Johnny Morton had been complaining all week about not getting the ball, and I guess Pat, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, huh? Back to Pat.
What was that again? The squeaky what?
The squeaky wheel. Johnny Morton was complaining he wasn't getting the ball enough, so then they satisfy him by throwing him the ball.
Thrash goes in motion, no backs. They get it out to Thrash. And the play is made quickly by Troy Benson. Now there's a guy to get physical with you.
Yeah. Of the two corners, Bobby Taylor, I mean, they have two good corners. Bobby Taylor being the less physical and Troy Benson being the more physical of the two, but they're both good cover corners, and because they're such good corners, they allow this Eagle defense to do a lot of things that they do up in front, like a lot of their blitzing and so on.
Tommy Barnhart back to punt for the Redskins. He's kicking to who else? Brian Mitchell. 10 years a Redskin. Mitchell won. High kick from Barnhart. Mitchell signaled fair catch and made it at about the 8-yard line. They say you shouldn't handle them inside the 15 or the 10 in some cases, but that one I think was so well covered, the Redskins might have stopped it.
Yeah, watch Brian Mitchell here. The thing is, you don't want to let the ball get to your shoulder pads. You want to catch it out in front with your hands, and you have to have big and good hands to do that.
And he does.
You know what I didn't understand? There was a guy standing there watching it that turned his back to that. You finally get the action on your side.
McNabb gets it to Mitchell, who's tripped up. Almost as soon as he handles it by Derek Smith.
Here's what I can't. Look at this guy here. I mean, here's the ball is coming in here, and this guy has something important. I mean, you finally get action where you're sitting, and you turn away, and you don't even see the action. Now, what could be more important in a football game that you just bought a ticket for?
I don't know. Let's get a closer look. Second and 15. Cecil Martin, the ball carrier, gets out to about the 10.
We've talked before about how we always talk about the red area, the red zone, when you're 20-yard line going in, and then you have the opposite of the red zone, and that's a get out of trouble zone. And that's where you are now when you're from the goal line to the 20 coming out, and your goal is to get it out to the 5 and then get it out to the 20 and then go to work. So the Eagles are in their get out of trouble offense.
Here's McNabb with time this time. And a flag on the play as he finally just throws it out of bounds and away. But a flag on the play.
Yeah.
It's going to be against Philadelphia. But this is one you might turn down, huh?
Well, this is one that they will turn down because they're not going to pick up any yardage on it anyway. And it's fourth down and
tripping. Offense. Number 72. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Trey Thomas tripping.
Yeah, see, Trey Thomas is over here. He's number 72, and you see him right there is where he tripped. But And you say there's no reason not to turn down that penalty and force him to punt here.
So Landetta's third punt coming up. Deion Sanders retreats to his own 42-yard line. There he goes. Sanders. Fumble. Sanders lost it. The Eagles saying we've got it, and they are correct. Good return by Deion Sanders, but he lost the ball. And the Eagles get out of a hole. Gerard Cherry came out of the pack with the ball.
There's a hit right there by Ike Reese.
Yeah.
Ike Reese is the guy that made the hit.
That was a joke.
I know that was the thing. I don't think Deion saw it. See, he turns up right here. Brian Mitchell was on one side.
Oh. Brian
Mitchell had him low, and Ike Reese just came over the top and put him back where he came from and knocked the ball out of there.
Deion didn't see him coming, I don't think. Doesn't matter. The Eagles had the ball back.
But as I said, the other guy down there, the first contact was Brian Mitchell.
Right. Pitch back to Mitchell, throws the option pass. The man is open, complete. Chad Lewis.
That was one of the things you don't forget, or you can't forget, that Brian Mitchell can throw the ball. He was a college quarterback.
That's right.
And you say, does he wear gloves? No, he doesn't wear gloves. He doesn't have to take the gloves off. You see, you just get a pitch, and then you go like you're going to run the ball. You put it away, and then you stop, and you throw it. That time he threw it to his tight end, Chad Lewis. That was one of the plays that Andy Reid said that he was going to do. He said, I'm going to give him a little empty backfield, which is different, and we are going to throw the run pass.
Picked up 21 yards. Here's Mitchell. Across the 40. This is Gerard Cherry.
Yeah, watch what he does. I mean, he's out there, and he's double-teamed. He's getting hit, re-hit, hit, re-hit, hit, re-hit. And he does all that, get down there, keep hustling, keeps going. And he's the guy that ended up recovering the fumble.
Came out of there with the ball. 2nd and 7, Philadelphia at the Redskin 39. Mitchell was the man in motion. McNabb gets it to Mitchell, who's hit immediately by Sean Barber, but had dropped the ball already.
Mitchell's been pretty big on this drive, starting with being in on the tackle, Deion Sanders, and then coming in there and throwing that run pass, running the ball, and showing all the things that Brian Mitchell could do. He said, you know, all my career, I've always asked, I want more touches. I want the ball more. He said, today I'm going to get it more. And he said, I may be doing the reverse.
He's going to get a dose today. Third down, the Eagles. The pressure's on McNabb, and he throws almost picked off. Sean Barber, Champ Bailey involved in the secondary.
That's a good job by the Redskins, because the thing that they were worried about is, you know, getting there, breaking someone free, and they did it earlier with Bruce Smith, and then not being able to get McNabb. That time they got him, and they held him where he just had to throw the ball away.
Landetta again back to punt to Deion Sanders. Deion had a good return the last time. He'll let this one fly over his head. It flies into the end zone, and they'll come back to the 20, where Washington takes over. 2:36 left in the first. Tonight it has all come down to this for the Yankees and the A's. One game to decide who moves on to the American League Championship Series and who goes home. Game 5 of the American League Division Series beginning tonight live from Oakland at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. 7-0 at the Vet, the home of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Redskins lead it. Davis straight ahead.
You know how many yards they've passed for so far in this game? 9 yards.
Philadelphia or
no, both
teams?
quarterbacks. Yeah, Brad Johnson's well thrown for the 9. McNabb has thrown for none. McNabb's thrown none yards so far, and Brad Johnson has thrown for 9 yards. So the beginning of this game is not a quarterback passing game.
So the leading passer then is Brian Mitchell.
Brian Mitchell, right. And then, of course, the big plays for the Redskins was James Thrash on the reverse and the running of Stephen Davis.
Here's Davis again. Not much. Hugh Douglas, first there.
I think that was one of their plans is to get some tight ends and stuff and run at Douglas here. Now he's better here if he's on the end, and especially if the tackle blocks down and the back is going to block on him like that, he is going to handle that.
Yep.
Where he has trouble with is the tight end and the double team and those kinds of things. That wasn't much of a block, but Hugh Douglas did play well against the poor block.
3-man rush. 4 wide receivers for the Redskins. Brad Johnson gets it out of there. Andre Reed had the first down.
That was a great tackle by Troy Vincent. In fact, I think it was going to spot him for a first down.
I think so too.
Yeah, if Troy Vincent didn't let him get a first down, that would have been a big tackle. But they're going to say that Andre Reed is beyond that marker. He catches the ball and the contact is made right there. He was beyond the line.
Yeah.
But just watch what Troy Vincent does. I mean, he spins them and spins them around half backwards, and then brings them down. That's pretty good. We talked about Troy Vincent being a physical corner, and he's at his best when he's his most physical.
That's a very generous mark by the officials. It's a Washington timeout. Just been called with 31 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
Watch when Andre Reed comes up there, Pat, what his helmet looks like. I mean, that's how you know that you've just received a hit.
And you've been knocked backwards.
Yeah, well, you've been knocked even more than backwards. You've been knocked what we call cattywampus.
And almost out of your hat. That's what we call it, cattywampus?
Yeah, he was knocked cattywampus, and that's what I was talking about. 3 for 4 for Brad Johnson, now for 18 yards. McNabb is 2 out of 7 for none yards.
First down, Redskins. Stephen Alexander, the tight end, moves over to the right side. Davis around Douglas. And finally herded out of bounds by Troy Vincent from the other side.
And that was a little better block that time on Hugh Douglas. They tried to run the same play. Sellers is going to come in and block Hugh Douglas, and he just holds that block just enough for Stephen Davis to get around it. Well, I don't know what that is right there, but anyway, he was taken on the block, and Sellers stayed just enough to let him get around the corner.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Redskins 7, the Eagles nothing. Fox NFL Sunday from Philadelphia will continue after these messages. We're back in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The 2 head coaches, Norv Turner on your left, Andy Reid in his 2nd year. Norv Turner in his 7th year, the head coach of the Redskins.
2 good head coaches.
Yep. Brad Johnson down. The rush comes from the right side, and it's Hugh Douglas.
That was against the rookie, Chris Samuels over there, and I think he just bull rushed him. I mean, he's just going to push him right back in. Here he is right here. Now watch him. He's against Samuels, number 60. He just takes him in the bull rush. He just gets underneath him, and he just drives him right into Brad Johnson. That's what you do. When you get up there like that, you have to be ready, boom, to punch him. Look at that. You know, it all ends up in the guy on the bottom. When the guy's on the bottom, you know, and he's the quarterback, that's about 1,000 pounds on him.
3rd and 12. Johnson back. Pressure again. He gets hit just as he lets it go. But the pass is caught by James Thrash.
How in the heck did Brad Johnson get rid of that?
And James Thrash makes the
catch it. Yeah. And Chris Samuels, the guy that had trouble with the bull rush, is hurt, and he's going off. He's one of the #1 draft choices. Here he is. Watch this again. The pressure is coming from that backside. That was the blitz. They didn't get the blitz block. Brad Johnson doesn't see it, and they hit him just as he throws it and gets it out there to James Thrash.
And Andy Heck comes in to play left tackle now.
I tell you, Brad Johnson is a tough guy.
Yes, he is. Davis tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Paul Grasmanis.
That's some adjustment now this Redskin offensive line is making, because they see they're working on Samuel, so Andy Heck is in there. Jay Lewinberg is already playing right guard for Trey Johnson.
Both ex-Bears.
Right, and Trey Johnson, is one of the top offensive linemen in the league, and he injured his knee last week, and ACL will probably be out for the year. Keith Sims, the left guard, can't practice, and he has an Achilles. He has Achilles tendonitis. He just practiced 1 day a week.
Johnson steps up into the pocket and has a man open. Stephen Alexander is tight end. Barry Gardner made the stop, knocked him out of bounds.
This is the thing. Look at this offensive line and their injury problems. First of all, they lost Corey Raymer. He was their starting center, torn ACL. Trey Johnson tore his ACL last week. Keith Sims has Achilles tendonitis. Can't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. Practices a little on Friday, and that's it. And Jay Lewinberg, who is starting at right guard, also has a bad ankle. And now we add Chris Samuels to that.
The handoff to center spins for maybe 2.
And here's the guy that has the challenge. That's Russ Grimm. Remember Russ Grimm? He was one of the
Hogs.
Members of the Hogs, and when the Washington Redskins were running Big John Riggins in there, and
Joe Jacoby
lined up. I mean, that was a pretty good left side. Russ Grimm at left guard, Joe Jacoby at left tackle.
Bostic.
And you run that counter tray over there. Now you're talking some running.
That was Davis. Got a couple.
And, as I said earlier, Davis has to be a big part of this game, because, we talk about the offensive line. We know that the Eagles and their defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson, just loves to blitz. So you're not going to be able to pick up a lot of stuff, and you can't let your quarterback, Brad Johnson, just be back there and be a sitting duck.
You see Brad Johnson scratch his head?
He always has that. He has that nervous scratch that he gets during a football game. Nervous itch.
Gets it out quickly to James Thrash.
It was interesting when we were talking to Norv Turner last night. He kept talking about we have to create some plays. And one of the guys he talked about was James Thrash. He said that he's our best blocker, so we like him in there when we run, and he's our fastest guy. So he is creating plays that can maybe be some big plays in this game, and James Thrash is a pretty big part of that.
Word on Chris Samuels is that he has a sprained knee. So it's Andy Heck at left tackle. Johnson. Too much for Alexander. Troy Vincent, the Eagle defender.
One thing that they've done, though, by this mixture and this play caller, Norv Turner, who I've always thought is one of the best play callers in football, is they've gotten the Eagles a little off balance, and the Eagles aren't able to blitz, because that's one thing that they would love to do. Remember what they did to the Dallas Cowboys in the opener, the Eagles?
Destroyed them.
They just destroyed them. They destroyed Troy Aikman. They gave him a concussion and everything. They would like to play that type of game against the Redskins, and Norv Turner's not letting them.
Pass caught by Connell. Hit by Vincent.
We talked about James Thrash and how he's going to make big plays, and the other guy is Albert Connell. Samuels has gone from the training and medical staff to the players to check his knee for him. That's a good sign. When a guy's shaking his head like that, that's Bubba Tyre on his right, the trainer for the Washington Redskins, a longtime trainer for the Washington Redskins. But when a player shakes his head like he's okay, that's a pretty good sign usually.
3rd and 5. Here's Johnson back to throw. The ball's knocked loose as he cocked his arm. Intended for Irving Fryer, I believe.
And that's a jailbreak on him. I mean, watch as he gets back here. I mean, he's going to get the pressure from this side. Now, and they almost beat him back there. Watch, Brad Johnson gets back there, and there's just a jailbreak on him. Yep. I mean, there's about 5 Eagles that are knocking him sideways. And when Jim Johnson, defensive coordinator of the Eagles, when he gets you in that situation, he is going to come with the blitz. He's going to try and knock you out and not let you get that first down.
Michael Husted, field goal attempt from 33 yards. It looked like he might have pulled it. He did.
Wide left.
Wide left. So the Redskins get no points and still lead 7-0 with 9:45 left in the first half.
3 cheese whiz.
Philadelphia cheesesteak sandwiches.
Now you're talking. That's what we had for lunch yesterday.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, compliments of Andy Reid. The old coach knows where to go in Philadelphia to get a cheesesteak. I'll tell you that.
That's Darnell Autry, the ball carrier. And for another game break, let's send you back to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Saints and Bears each looking for a second victory of the season. Jeff Blake, play action here, hooks up with Joe Horn, a 40-yard pass. Blake on that drive had 48 yards rushing, and it's all tied now in Chicago. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
We're in Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium where the Redskins lead the Eagles 7-0. Over 9 minutes left in the first half. Donovan McNabb back to throw and throwing deep. And the pass is caught. Luther Broughton.
They're going to say no.
No, he didn't catch it.
Incomplete.
Yep.
Well, he did catch it, but I guess he didn't have control of it, and it goes out of bounds. Luther Broughton is a tight end, but they like to play him out as a wide receiver, and they think if they can get him outside and get a mismatch with a strong safety like Sam Shade there, that they have an advantage. Sam Shade makes a pretty good play. Broughton catches the ball. Shade gets his hand in there and just knocks it right out.
Well, they're saying he never had it. And I'm inclined to agree with him. 3rd down. A flag on the play is confusion in the Eagle huddle. Penalty marker down.
You know, the Eagles are starting to use their other backs
number
now.
78 moved into neutral zone prior to the snap.
Bruce
5-yard penalty.
Yep, Bruce Smith was going to take an inside move, and you watch him. He jumps in a little. Here he is here. Now he's going to take a move inside. So he jumps inside. See right there? He gets a jump there to get on that inside move. Trey Thomas did a pretty good job though of blocking him.
Bruce Smith is so quick off the ball.
Well, he's been arguing all day that, you know, that Trey Thomas is back. He's trying to get him up on the line of scrimmage because he can't line up on Trey Thomas. He has to line up on the ball.
Take to Mitchell. McNabb is hit just as he lets it go by Bruce Smith.
And he was hit by Bruce Smith that time. They tried to block him with a tight end, and he just went right around him.
Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader beginning with Terry, Howie, JB, and Chris on America's favorite pregame show. Then Jamal Anderson and the Falcons take on division rival Marshall Faulk and the Rams, followed by the 49ers battling the Packers, plus other regional matchups. It's all right here on Fox starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Next Sunday, check your local listing.
That last play, they tried to block Bruce Smith with the tight end Chad Lewis, and that's not going to work.
Here's McNabb. He comes out of the pocket and throws to a wide open Charles Johnson this time as they move into Washington territory.
And I think that's when Donovan McNabb is his best, when he is moving around. As you watch here, he's going to come out, and he's going to look, and he's going to fake, and now he's going to run. Now he's really dangerous because now he adds that thing where he can run it, or he can pass it, or he can run it and then pass it like he did then. And that is danger because Donovan McNabb is not only has good movement, is a good runner, but he runs with speed. He runs a 4.5
And he's a big guy, too. What do you say he weighed? 228?
228, yeah.
With speed. McNabb has a man over, a diving catch by Chad Lewis. Wonderful catch by the tight end.
Yeah, the thing is Chad Lewis getting so wide open, he's going to come on a crossing pattern, and then Donovan McNabb seeing him, he goes play pass, and you can see Chad Lewis started in like he was going up the middle, and then he just went to the outside. But watch how wide open he is. He starts in the middle. Now he's going to come out here. They run the corner off, and this whole area is wide open for Chad Lewis.
Darnell Autry is the deep back behind McNabb. McNabb fakes to him, fires, pass is picked off. Sam Shade just sitting in the hole. And McNabb threw it right to him.
Yeah, that was a bad throw by McNabb. I mean, he just overthrew, and as you said, Sam Shade was just sitting back there in his zone.
7-0 Washington.
Watch Marco Coleman here. Now, he's going to get in Donovan McNabb's face. Now, as a quarterback, you throw as much with your feet as you do your arm. And your feet have to be in good position. And right here, Coleman gets his feet out of position. So then he's trying to throw it to Luther Broughton, and he just throws it right over his head.
Davis. Flag on the play.
And that's going to be out here on Troy Vincent, blocking on Troy Vincent.
Holding against the Redskins.
That's going to be on James Thrash, is they're going to call it on. He was blocking or holding or doing something to Troy Vincent down here in the bottom is what they're going to call.
Holding. Offense.
He was holding.
87. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Well, that's the second time that they've called this type of thing, and you just see him out there. Troy Vincent has a hold of him. He's a defender. Thrash has a hold of him. And I don't know. I mean, those things don't look awfully physical to me. But
not very. But they're out in the open.
Yeah. I mean, they should. Yeah, I mean, either block them or run them off or do something. But that to me, never has gotten it.
1st and 17. Pryor goes in motion. Brad Johnson gets back to Davis. Gets maybe a yard. 6:48 left to play in the first half. The Redskins took the opening, or the first time they had the ball, not the opening kickoff, and scored to go ahead 7-0, and that's been it.
There's a guy they like, John Jansen, number 76. We just see the big right tackle there. And everyone says the same thing about him, that he loves football, that he's a tough guy, and blue-collar guy, and is going to be around for a long time.
One of your better right tackles. This is set up well for Larry Centers. And Centers will get a Redskin first down. The screen pass.
Centers really wants to jump, doesn't he? Yeah. He's always been one of the good pass receivers in football. You're going to see him here, and he'll come out on the left in that screen. See, he waits, and then they kind of go to the right, and then set this thing back up. He gets a pretty good block right there. And you see he wanted to jump. Remember last week he jumped high in the air and the 4 guys still got him. Here he wants to jump. He does a pirouette. That's the second pirouette. In fact, this could be an NFL record for pirouettes in one half.
With both feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Could be a record. You're right. Here's Brad Johnson wide open. Is Stephen Alexander, the tight end.
Yeah, I think the thing we have to say, Pat, is that Chris Samuels is back, and doing well. I mean, he blocked well on that thing, and he just, I mean, he is so big and strong. And you know, we talk about right tackle and left tackle, but he is so big and strong. He's over here on this side. Watch what he does to Hugh Douglas right here. I mean, he blocks him, you stay with him, you get underneath him, and then you just drive him into the ground.
Stay with him.
But I mean, that's what you get by being big and strong.
And he doesn't look that big when you see him without all the pads on.
Well, he does to me. I mean, he's like 6'8".
I know it. Well, that's all. For a game break, let's return again to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat and John, a poor punt sets Detroit up with great field position. Batch capitalizes as he hooks up with James Stewart. Second touchdown toss of the day for Batch. And it's the Lions continuing to batter Green Bay 17-3 in the second. Back to Pat and John.
Score at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia remains 7-0 Redskins. With just over 4 minutes left, 2nd and 10. Brad Johnson brings them out. Centers and Davis behind Johnson. The centers again. Carlos Emmons chased him down and out of bounds.
Yeah, that's the one thing that the Redskins have. I mean, they're not as strong as wide receiver. I mean, they lose Michael Westbrook, and they're not as strong out there. They're playing with Irving Fryer now and Albert Connell. But they can put Larry Centers in and throw to him, you know, out of the backfield. They got Steven Alexander as a tight end. So maybe they don't have an abundance of wide receivers that really scare you, but they do have receivers that can hit you from a lot of different positions.
3rd and 2. Centers the carrier, and he lost a yard or so.
Larry Centers has always been better when you throw him the ball than when you hand it to him or ask him to block.
Rosmanis made the stop.
When you look at that, that's that old counter tray type of thing, and you see that it didn't fool any of the Eagles. I mean, they took a little step, and then they were all waiting for him right at the line of scrimmage.
And the Redskins get nothing out of this drive and will have to punt.
They went a little conservative there on 3rd down. I think they were trying to say that, well, Larry Centers is in the backfield. He doesn't run it. He's a pass receiver, and we're going to fool you and run it, and it didn't fool the Eagles. Barnhart, whistles all over the place.
Too much time. Brian Mitchell back deep. This one doesn't matter, so he fumbles it.
With Brian Mitchell, he's doing all the things. So what they were doing is they're relieving him some on offense, where he's not playing all the offensive plays, because he is going to do all the kick returning. One thing that came out is said that, you know, that he was a bad guy for the Redskins, that he wasn't a good team guy and he wasn't good in the locker. That's a bunch of baloney. I mean, Brian Mitchell, that sources said that.
5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
You'd be leery of those things.
Yeah, and that came out in the papers this week, and I mean, even Norv Turner and all the players said, no, that's wrong. I mean, Brian Mitchell was a very good teammate, a very good guy, good in the community, all the things that an NFL pro player has to be. He was and is.
He just wanted the ball more, that's all. Barnhart's kick. Mitchell signals fair catch and makes it at about the 16. Flag on the play. Back at the line of scrimmage.
That's right there.
The Redskin down. This is going to be against the Eagles. That could be costly.
We're talking about Brian Mitchell, but when they, you know, like North Turner said, when we signed Deion Sanders and gave him all that money, we were paying him to play defensive back and be our
personal foul on the receiving team during the kick. 56, forearm to the back of the head, will penalize from the dead ball spot.
Mike Caldwell, a forearm to the head, I believe is what he said. Must have been a pretty good forearm. 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. 7-0. Washington leading Philadelphia. Redskins scored the first time they had the ball. Nothing since.
That's James Jenkins that they were working on. He was the guy that Mike Caldwell hit and calls the 15-yard penalty.
Autry gets the carry. Taken down at about the 5-yard line by the Redskins, Derek Smith.
They're going to take a timeout here, too. What they're trying to do is they know that they're going to get the ball back, the Redskins, and they're going to have good field position. They know they're going to get the 2-minute timeout, so they're taking one on this side of the 2-minute timeout.
They have one left in addition to the 2 minutes. This is the Redskin timeout. They have one more in the first half. They've got the Eagles pinned back down at their own 5.
Look at the pressure they put on Donovan McNabb. Only sacked him 1 time. Hit him 6 times, but they've hurried him 11 times.
Bruce Smith thought he saw somebody move in the Eagle offensive line.
Like we said, Bruce Smith has been on Trey Thomas all day.
Yeah.
Wanting him to get up there on the line of scrimmage. And, because Bruce is one of those guys that, has been a great player for 16 years in this league. One of the all-time leading sackers. And he does it with quickness. I mean, he's not the biggest or strongest guy, but he has excellent and still has excellent quickness. So he wants that guy up close so he can beat him quickly. He doesn't want him back there where he can wait for him.
Neutral zone violation. Number 94 in the defense. 5 yards. Still second down.
Against Dana Stubblefield. Bruce Smith, the key, he says, is he never gets out of shape.
And here's Dana Stubblefield here. Yeah, he just jumped into that neutral zone. See, the neutral zone is the area of the football. It's the length of the football, and all the defensive players have to be back behind the nose of the football. And if you jump into the other side of the football, you're offside. If you jump into the area which is the length of the football, you're infractioning the neutral zone. Is that a word, infractioning?
It is now.
Just made it up.
Pass is caught by Torrance Small. A flag on the play.
Donovan McNabb was going, oh no, and then they pointed, it's against the Redskins, and hey.
And we use decline. First down.
First down, Philadelphia. They get out of the hole.
Here's Torrance Small out here on Champ Bailey. And you see there's just a little bump, and it's not a fade stop, but it's where you just throw that up. Instead of throwing it up in front, you throw it a little short. Watch Donovan McNabb there. He thought the penalty was against the Eagles. And then his next reaction was, oh, good.
That's the 2-minute warning coming up. They gained 26 yards on that pass completion to Small and got themselves a little breathing room. 7-0 Washington. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 7-0 the Redskins over the Eagles. The Eagles have the ball at their own 36. McNabb back to throw. Best protection he's had. The pass is caught by Torrance Small again as they move across the 50 into Redskin territory.
Bruce Smith just buried McNabb, and then he tried to hold him down after he completed that one. McNabb and Bruce Smith were wrestling. McNabb just pushed him and got up, and then he's coming and waiting for that next play. But it's tough on the quarterback because they haven't been able to get any running game going, the Eagles. In fact, McNabb is the leading rusher with 8 yards and 1 carry.
McNabb again. Lofts it outside. Intended for Charles Johnson. He had to throw it over LeVar Arrington. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
I'm sure that Andy Reid right now and Donovan McNabb are thinking, the toughest points, I always say this, are the first ones. I mean, you want to break that thing, and if they could get one here, they need about 10 or 15 more yards to get into field goal position, so that has to be their goal right now.
McNabb coming out of the pocket. A flag on the play downfield. He throws incomplete down to Charles Johnson, but the flag is on the opposite side of the field.
The guy that made the big play there was Sean Barber, and one of the things that the Redskins worried about is you can have guys in position against Donovan McNabb, but he's faster than your guys are.
Holding against Washington.
A couple of penalties on this drive have hurt the Redskins.
Really?
First Stubblefield, being in the neutral zone, and then Donovan McNabb got the big play, and then this one.
Defense, number 21.
Deion Sanders this time.
First down.
And that's going to be an automatic first down with 1 minute and 44 seconds. That gives the Eagles plenty of time because they got the first down now, and they have all 3 of their timeouts left.
They need to get a little bit closer.
Yeah, but like I said, they have time. I mean, they have, now that holding penalty gives them an automatic first down, so now that gives them the downs. And with the 3 timeouts, they still have time.
McNabb. Johnson. Sorry, it's Luther Broughton. The backup tight end.
Yeah, that was the thing that we talked about earlier. Luther Broughton is a tight end, but they like to put him outside and then get a strong safety on him and then let him run wide receiver patterns, but not run the wide receiver patterns against a corner. You see, they get him out there, and they usually get him on a safety like Sam Shea.
They use a timeout. They have 2 left.
And now they're in field goal position, but again, being down 7-0, now they can start taking shots for the end zone and the touchdown.
David Akers getting ready. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris. We'll have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Akers hasn't missed all year. He's 8 for 8. The Eagles have been very calm about this. Penalties have helped. 1st and 10. Here's McNabb. Charles Johnson, Eagle touchdown. He had it, almost lost it, and got it back. He went past Champ Bailey.
That was a heck of a drive by the Eagles. They started on their own 6-yard line. Here's Charles Johnson out here, and you see he just gets turned around. It was Darryl Green that was on him, and he just gets him turned around, and Donovan McNabb throws a perfect pass.
Extra point is good, and we have a tie.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how they were getting all over Donovan McNabb, but this time he had pass protection. Look at this protection. He can get back there. Now he has a clean pocket where he can step up. Charles Johnson gets a step on Darryl Green, and Donovan McNabb throws a perfect pass. And when you get the protection like that, then you can just drop it in just like that.
Johnson did a heck of a job hanging on. He almost lost it a couple of times.
But, when you think back of where they started, remember the Redskins took a timeout because they had him backed up on the 6-yard line. Stubblefield jumps offside, then they get a play, then another play, and then another penalty, and then boom, they hit him with a strike for the touchdown.
And tie the score at 7. With still 1 minute and 29 seconds left in the first half. Tonight, it has all come down to this for the Yankees and the A's. 1 game to decide who moves on to the American League Championship Series and who goes home. Game 5 of the American League Division Series beginning tonight live from Oakland at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox.
Yeah, that's going to be something with those teams. I was watching them. They were playing till, 11 o'clock or so back here last night. Then they had to get on an airplane, fly all night, and then play at 4:30 local time this afternoon.
They flew the starting pitchers out early.
Yeah.
Andy Pettit and Gil Heredia.
I think they always do that, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
But you wonder about Andy Pettit, what he was thinking, because if the Yankees win, then they don't have to go to Oakland.
He flies back.
All the Yankees would be in New York, and Andy Pettit would be sitting out there in Oakland.
The Yankees got to their hotel at 4:30 this morning.
What time did the A's get to theirs, to their home, to their houses?
I don't know.
That'd be like the same 4:30. But the A's are younger, see?
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to handle that better, plus the game's in Oakland.
But the Yankees have the experience.
This is the second time this ball flew up. Now the rule is now you have to have a holder.
Like golf.
Like golf?
You drop it twice, and then if it rolls away again, you get to place it.
I thought you got a holder.
No, you don't get a holder.
Tim Houck comes out there. The old holder. Now the thing is with the old holder is you don't want to let go before the kicker gets there. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
So usually the holder doesn't even look. Tim Houck, an 11-year veteran out of Montana, has been doing this all his life.
Akers kick to Thrash. And Thrash, who has a lot of speed, heads for the outside and gets out of bounds. With a minute 21, and here's another penalty marker. Flag is down.
You know, the Eagles came into this game, I think they were second in the league in penalties. They had 40 penalties, 31 in the last couple of weeks. But the Redskins in this second quarter have been hurt by the penalty.
They really have. That drive was kept alive.
During the return, number 56. First down, Washington.
That's LeVar Arrington. Was holding.
It's funny how the momentum of a game changes. The Redskins were really beating the Eagles and everything was going their way, but they didn't get enough points on the board while they were doing it.
Well, how many times have you seen that happen where you got somebody and you don't put them away?
And you just let them sit there and you let them sit there. And when you let this Eagle team sit there, they're going to come back and bite you somewhere.
Adrian Morrell makes the first down run.
And we know that the Redskins, they only have one timeout, so I think they'd like to. I mean, the first goal here now is to get the ball about midfield before you start thinking about any scoring.
Johnson back to throw. Tried to drop the screen pass out to Morrell. Incomplete. Now they stop the clock.
Brad Johnson was talking about last night, and I agree with that. That screen passes are such a big part of football now, and they put a rule in that if the thing is covered or if the screen guy doesn't get out there, you still have to throw it at him. And I think the quarterback, if they pick off your screen or if they pick it up, you ought to be able to throw the ball away.
That's a rule that will probably be changed.
Well, it should be, because that is not protecting quarterback.
Johnson out of the shotgun. Whoop. That looked like somebody was offside. The pass is knocked down. Intended again for Morrell.
I would have guessed that Hugh Douglas left early.
I would have too.
Either that or he got off right on the ball on that one. That's been quite a battle over there with Chris Samuels, the rookie #1 draft choice of the Redskins, who I think is really going to be a good one. And Hugh Douglas. You just watch it there. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah.
Here's Adrian Morrell again. Not much doing as Jeremiah Trotter is out to stop him.
And now Philadelphia is taking a timeout. Remember, that's what the Redskins did to them.
Yep.
But the difference is the Eagles have already stopped the Redskins, so they know that they're going to get the ball. So they take a timeout there. They still have one timeout left, but there will be a timeout at change of possession. So they don't have to use the timeout after this punt.
And Brian Mitchell is back deep for the Eagles. So many years we said, and so many years he did so well for the Redskins. 10 years as a Redskin was Brian Mitchell. And I don't care what you say. When you've been with a team 10 years and you leave, you're put on waivers, that has to hurt.
It has to hurt, and then when they come and you play them, you want to beat them first, and then you want to play one of your big games.
Barnhart back to punt it. Eagles didn't try to drop it, to block it, I mean. Here's Mitchell. He'll have some room. Brian Mitchell. Close to midfield. The Eagles get the ball back with 33 seconds left and 1 timeout.
See, now that's a stop there, the change of possession. So the clock stops now until the ball is snapped. And then, as I said, then the Eagles still have 1 timeout, so they can throw the ball to the inside. That's the advantage of having a timeout. If you don't have a timeout, you have to get the ball in the end zone or throw it to the sidelines to get out of bounds. If you have a timeout, then you can still throw it to the inside. Then if you get a completion, you can take your timeout.
If you had come back like the Eagles have now from that with that long drive to tie the score, what would you do here?
I'd go for it. I mean, I'd go for more. I would. There's no way that I would be satisfied with that. It's a fight on the bench. That's a coach there. That's Terry Robisky.
Here's McNabb. Comes out of the pocket and is caught from behind by Marco Coleman.
That's Albert Connell there, and Terry Robisky steps in.
That's James Jenkins.
Terry Robisky played for me at Oakland.
Tough guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with him. I don't know if he's breaking up something or if he's in something. But if he's involved, he can get the best of it. I know that.
Well, he is involved. There's no question about that. That's Albert Connell, and now...
And he's his coach. I mean, Terry Robisky is the wide receiver coach. Albert Connell better watch out. I mean, you got a ball game to play. You don't need this stuff. This is stupid. I mean, if you have that much energy, you better direct it at your opponent and not at your teammates or your coaches.
That's Irving Fryer now in his face, trying to calm him down.
I think he's in his ear trying to calm him down, and it looks like it worked. And I think for the Redskins and Albert Connell, I think halftime coming up shortly is a pretty good thing, because this is not a good thing. This is not a good sight. This is baloney. I mean, that's a sign that you never want to see that one.
2nd and 8. McNabb stepping up. McNabb from behind, fumble, and the Redskins have it. Sam Shade came up with the fumble. Bruce Smith made the hit.
Did you see Bruce Smith? He came all the way from the other side. Bruce Smith comes from his backside. Now watch 78 there. He is so good at that. I mean, knowing not only where the guy is, but where the ball is.
He did it last week.
He did the same thing last week. I mean, he is so aware on his pass rush. I mean, he's so quick and so powerful, and then aware to get back there and to make a play like that. I mean, Bruce Smith is still, after all these years, something very special.
Well, as he told us, he never gets out of shape. He might take a week off, but then he's back working out. So as they head for the locker rooms at the half, score is tied at 7. Philadelphia and Washington. We'll be right back here. Redskins and the Eagles tied at 7. It looked like the Redskins were going to take over right from the beginning. Here is their touchdown. Stephen Davis, after they ran a reverse to James Thrash on the first time they had the ball. And then here's the Eagle touchdown. Charles Johnson from Donovan McNabb. That's all there's been. It's 7-7 at the half. JB and Terry and Howie and Chris will all be back I'll tell you what's happening around the rest of the league after this.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to the Visa Halftime. And those of you watching Washington and Philadelphia at the half, the game is all tied at 7. Washington has lost 9 of 10 in the 90s to the Eagles.
All right, NFC East Division. There you go, Brad Johnson. Let's get it cranked up. Stephen Davis out of the backfield, out of the eye, off the right side, breaks to the left side, 12-yard touchdown run. Momentum all Redskins, 7-0. Now McNabb under a lot of pressure, tries to make something happen. Sam Shea standing back there says, not my day. Area still Skins up by 7. Then Eagles trying to make a game of it. You bet. Charles Johnson down the right sideline beats Darrell Green, 30-yard touchdown reception and a momentum changer, all 7-up. And then Terry Robisky in the red hat, the offensive coordinator of the Redskins, Albert Connell, the receiver. Hey, get at it on the sideline, and we will keep you updated.
And at 9 of 10 losses in the 90s, of course, Washington has suffered in Philadelphia.
Brett Favre coming in the Pontiac Silverdome in 8 games has thrown 17 interceptions, hoping to make good things happen today. But right off the bat, Tracy Scoggins and Robert Portier forced a fumble recovered by Luther Ellis. All right, that led to a Jason Hanson 30-yard field goal, and then bats to Johnny Morton down the right sideline. 42-yard touchdown. Here we go, Lions. 10-0 over the Pack. Bats not through yet. Back, looking left, steps up. James Stewart out in the right flat. Takes it. Great effort all the way in. Chris Collinsworth reminds me so much of you in high school. And we got a 17-3
All-Star
Lions game. And then here we come, Brett Favre, having thrown 17 interceptions in the Pontiac Silverdome in 8 games. Make it 18 now, as that one is picked off by Lamar Campbell. 24-3, all Lions.
Batch shaking off some rust with 2 touchdown passes in the first half.
Grabbing my air, here we go, Peyton McNabb. Hoping to have a big day. Jeff Blake says, let me show you how it gets done. But Mike Brown, the rookie free safety, says, I'll show you how to do it. Picks off a 35-yard interception return for a touchdown. Blake back. Play action. Joe Horn went left, came back into the right flat. Touchdown, a 4-yard, 7-all Bears and the Saints. Blake back, look left. Safety gets out of the way. Turns around, fires. Joe Horn again. This guy picked up from Kansas City. Best receiver in the NFC. If you look at the numbers, JB, compared to all of those fellas over at the Rams. 17-7 Saints over the Bears.
Those teams looking for their second victory of the season. Dolphins and Bills going at it. Dolphins on top by 10 total yards. Buffalo only 39 in the first half. Patriots and Colts all knotted at 10. Quarterback Michael Bishop inserted at the end of the first half through the Hail Mary to Tony Simmons successfully indeed. Steelers have enjoyed success against the Jets, 12-1 all time.
They own them, baby.
Leading
They
the
own
Jets
them.
10-3 that at the half there as we take a look at the Titans. Yes, the Bengals.
It won't last.
That is
Breeze right there.
That score is
a big
correct.
hailstorm here in the
Howard,
second
you
half.
know Terry Robisky very well. Not a pretty scene on the sideline. What do you think might have happened? And will Connell play the second half?
Is this a reoccurring theme in the NFL? Angry wide receivers this year, or what?
forget it,
You know, number one, it doesn't look good for the Washington Redskins in terms of team chemistry. And I've been in that room, and it is a volatile wide receiver group. And as John Madden mentioned, Terry Robisky, a former Oakland Raider, very, very tough guy. He's not only the passing coordinator, but he coaches the wide receivers. And he's not a guy that, you know, if I'm laying Vegas odds down on that one, I'll take Terry Robisky.
He wins the fight.
But wasn't it Deion Sanders just last week who said that chemistry on a football team is all so overrated? Well, we're going to find out. Norv Turner's going to have his hands full at halftime here. Not only does he have to make these adjustments, now he's got to get his football team back together again. But once again, Washington's offense is failing to get it done in the clutch. They were total control in this game, but they couldn't put them away.
Deion fumbled a punt, right? Deion committed a third down holding penalty that led to that Charles Johnson 30-yard touchdown reception, which gave the momentum back to the Eagles.
I want to talk about this anger management with the wide receivers.
We'll have a conversation about this.
You know, and they say defensive linemen are
people
angry.
like you.
Look at this guy.
The second half of Washington and Philadelphia will be coming your way as the Visa halftime continues after this.
Back at the bet in Philadelphia at 7-7. The Eagles about to kick off.
And at the end of the half, the Eagles just took the momentum away from the Washington Redskins. They seemed to have everything going their way, and then in the second quarter, or the end of the second quarter, they just took over. Look at the Redskins. They've run for more yards. They've passed for less yards. But those yards. I think in the first quarter, Donovan McNabb had 0 yards passing. Then he got all those passing yards in the second quarter. Third down conversions, the Eagles still haven't had one. Redskins have had a turnover. Eagles have had two turnovers. Redskins, look at that, they almost double the time of possession. But again, with the turnover, with the penalties, with that last drive by the Eagles, they kind of had control of the game, but they didn't get enough points, didn't put them away, and left the Eagles in the game.
And we're tied at 7. And Akers set to kick it off. James Thrash will handle the kickoff. Here comes the reverse. And this is LeVar Arrington up to the 35 and pushed out of bounds there, and there's another flag. This is going to be for an out-of-bounds hit, I'm sure.
And that was one of the plays that Norv Turner was talking about creating. Remember the first play of the game? It was a reverse to James Thrash, and then he also had a reverse on the kickoff team to a linebacker, LeVar Arrington, who's in there as a blocker usually.
Personal foul.
And who can run.
Unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 31. 15 yards. First down.
Al Harris. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Well, you're going to see the reverse right here. See, Arrington started way back there. He was up there in the blocking thing, and then he gets a reverse here. He gets, boom, the block right there. Now he's out of bounds. And I don't know where Al Harris is right there, 31. I don't know what he does.
He didn't hit anybody.
No, not yet. Here comes a reverse, and Arrington, not used to running. When anyone gets close to him, he's just going to go out of bounds. We did see 31 Al Harris there. Didn't see him do anything. I think it could be number 58, Ike Reese.
I think you're right.
Reese did something, but Al Harris couldn't be the guy they called the penalty on because he didn't do anything.
Here's Brad Johnson back to throw, and down he goes. He had time before Corey Simon got there.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that you call a coverage sack, and you have to give the sack to the coverage because Brad Johnson did have time. And as you say, the pocket collapses on him because he doesn't have anyone to throw to. You see, right now, he has the time. They pick up the blitz. He has the time, but there's no one open. See, and he had to hold the ball.
Yep.
And then when you hold that ball that long, things will collapse on you.
You could see Simon just looking for a place to come clean at him, and a flag on the play.
That's what Brad Johnson was looking for. He could have thrown the out. He did have the out there, so it wasn't as much a coverage sack of Johnson just not seeing the guy.
Illegal substitution. Offense, 12 men in the huddle. 5 yards.
12 men in the huddle.
When you
can't have that many.
Nope. When you bring one in, you have to bring another one out. And that other one, they have a word, they call it loitering. You can't, not only can you not be in the huddle, but the guy that comes out can't loiter or hang around the huddle. He has to get right out.
Here's Brad Johnson back to throw it. Almost picked off by Bobby Taylor. And right now, let's send you down to the sideline and DJ Johnson.
Hey, Pat and John, as for the incident with Terry Robisky and Albert Cano, some of the Redskins sources say it's just a matter of a young receiver getting frustrated for not having the ball. He said it's something that you can't talk about. Coaches and ex-players know that's something you don't discuss. But basically, a young player not getting the ball, getting frustrated. Back up to you, Pat.
All right, DJ. That's a bad guy to get frustrated with.
Yeah. And Terry Robisky, is Howie Long, who knows Terry Robisky like I do, knows that you're not going to win if you go up against him. But there's no reason for that. I mean, this is a team game. Albert Connell has only caught one pass for 5 yards.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but it's a team game. The score's 7-7. You're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's not about how many passes you caught. I mean, that's a ridiculous thing, and I don't care players or young players or coaches or anything. There's no place for that. I mean, there's no place when you're in the middle of a battle. You don't have time to put out a temper tantrum.
The Redskins are called for a delay of game, and they move them back 5 more yards. So it's 3rd and about 27. And here's Brad Johnson back again. Gets the ball out to Larry Center. But he's not going far. Stopped by Mike Caldwell.
You know, one thing about this Eagle team, they're just kind of the opposite of that. I mean, they're kind of under-talented. They're a building team. They're on their way up, and they're just hang in there and fight. I mean, they just play as a team. You say, what's their defense? There's not great dominant players, but they do play well as a group. They do everything well as a group.
Brian Mitchell back deep for Philadelphia. Barnhart's kick. Mitchell, fair catch. Let's go. Philadelphia takes over. The score remains tied at 7. You ever carve a pumpkin?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean that's fun what that girl's doing. You pick a pumpkin out of a pumpkin patch and carve it. I mean, this is a great time of year when you got pumpkins, then a little frost on the pumpkin. That makes good hitting weather.
Yeah, that's Darnell Autry. And
some action.
Hitting weather for Darnell and other people too.
Darnell Autry, remember, he quit football a year ago. He's going to go be an actor.
Yeah.
And left the NFL and went to be an actor, and then didn't make it as an actor. Football looked better to him, so he came back and had to start all over again.
To another quest.
This is the first game he's been active this year, and of course that's because of Deuce Staley being out.
Here's McNabb, and McNabb gets up to the 30. Close to first down yardage. Very close. Mark Carrier made the stop on Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb doesn't want to be a runner. He wants to be a quarterback and a throwing quarterback, but he has that talent to run when he has to. But he says, he said, I've seen what happened to too many guys at the end of runs to really want to be a runner.
Yeah.
But you can see he's their leading rusher, and that hasn't been a big thing. I mean, in fact, I said that at the beginning of the game. The Eagles aren't going to win this game offensively with a running game. They're going to win it right here with this guy, Donovan McNabb. Either him running it or him running it and throwing it or him throwing it.
It looks like they're going for the first down.
Well, it's only third down. Yeah, that was a second down play, so it was whether he was going to be 1st and 10 or 3rd and inches. This is a good down. I mean, they're not going to do it, but where you go play pass and go for the whole enchilada.
That's Mitchell. And with that second lunge, he got the first down.
And he just had to cross the line.
Yep.
Only the line of scrimmage, but the line of scrimmage was right on the line, which would be the 30-yard line.
And he just got it.
Yep, he got in there on that right side, and there was behind Mayberry and Runyon, and he didn't make it initially, and then boom, that last one shot there. I think Albert Connell is going to be on a hot seat for a while with that.
After that,
well, yeah, that's stupid.
Bruce Smith limping on the sideline. McNabb trying to set up the screen pass, and it wasn't set.
That everyone is throwing more screens.
Yep,
and
trying to.
So, therefore, what's happening now is all the defenses are seeing more screens, so they're playing them better. And we see so many, where the screen pass was kind of ahead of the screen pass defense. Now, I think the screen pass defense is getting ahead of the screen pass.
I think the Bears did a lot of that with all those crazy screens they ran last year.
Here's Bruce Smith there.
Here's McNabb back to throw and throws it up the middle. Drop by Chad Lewis. He was stumbling as the ball arrived.
We were talking to Donovan McNabb yesterday, and he was saying that he's just kind of getting comfortable with his receivers, and he doesn't have a go-to guy, and he feels confident in all of them. But he said the next step we have to get to is when I run or move or scramble, they know where I am, and I know where they are or they're going. We're not on that level yet.
McNabb oval is almost picked off by Sean Barber as he retreated with the Eagle tight end.
Sean Barber's made a couple big plays in this game. He chased McNabb from behind and made him throw one time when he didn't want to. He darn near picked that thing off. He's a guy that is a good linebacker. You know, I mean, that plays the run and the pass well.
Landetta back to punt to Deion Sanders.
Landetta's punting with the wind here.
Low snap, he got the hop. Deion will have a chance. He's hit by Brian Mitchell.
The thing that Sean Landetta wanted to do is get Deion running laterally with his punt, and he did there.
11:03 left in the third. Tie score. Tonight it's Game 5 of the American League Division Series between the Yankees and the A's. It begins tonight live from Oakland at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Andy Pettit against Gil Heredia, both of whom have won in this series.
Remember when the A's went out to New York, they had to stop in Kansas for fuel. On the way back, though, they had a straight shot. They didn't have to stop.
You know that?
Yeah, I know, because I heard Art House say it. Someone asked him after the game, and he goes, "No, we're going straight through," he said.
You know, there's a guy who's done a heck of a job, Art Howe.
That whole A's organization and players, and, you know, no one saw that coming. I mean, the A's in baseball this year were a lot like the St. Louis Rams in football last year.
Yeah.
No one saw it coming. And I'm a local guy there. I mean that's home for me, and I didn't see it coming.
Second, as Johnson retreats and goes for Albert Connell, who makes the catch at midfield and falls into Eagle territory.
You know, one of the things that, you know, I mean, now he gets the ball and everything is going to be all right. But one of the things that, you know, a quarterback has enough pressure on him anyway without feeling that he has to get the ball. You know, Connell's getting mad. You know, he wants the ball. And a quarterback can't have that. I mean, it's not fair to put that on the quarterback. I mean, he's back there getting rest. He's fighting for his life, and some guy says, "Get me the ball." That is tough.
Davis. Good tackling by the Eagles by Carlos Emmons to take him down.
They were lucky they weren't running the other side. Here's Terry Robisky now, who's, again, the passing coordinator and the receivers coach. And you're trying to get over. You know, okay, we had that thing, and now we got to get back to you playing and me coaching. We have to get back on that level.
You haven't got time for peacemaking in the middle of a tie score. 2nd and 10. Brad Johnson drops to throw it. Pass is caught again by Connell.
Oh, he's getting his way now.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't looking there enough. That was his point. Here's Connell up here. You're going to see him come up. Then he's going to run a deep slant right in there. And Brad Johnson just hits him perfectly.
Yep.
Bobby Taylor was off a little. He was able to get inside of him. That's Irving Fryer down on the sideline. Yep.
Flag on the play. It's 1st and 10 on the 30. But we'll see what the penalty is. That's Irving Fryer.
Start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Keith Sims.
This is how Irving Fryer got hurt there. He was trying to make a block.
Look who he hit.
Yep.
Tim Houck.
Tim Houck. Isn't he amazing? We saw him in practice yesterday, and he brings a big load, but you wonder where the load is. I mean, he's a little guy. He's been playing in this league 11 years, and you look at him and you say, how?
And with what? O'Connell knocked away. Good play by Bobby Taylor.
Yeah, but now they're talking about it. He got him earlier. Remember, just on a play before, he ran that deep slant on him. Now he's going to start, and he fakes to the outside, and he's going to run the same type of pattern, but Bobby Taylor is there with him all the way and has perfect coverage. He doesn't touch him before the ball gets there. Just take that right arm, brings it over, and knocks it out.
That's textbook.
And now that's when you're really going to talk to a guy. You know, you have the talk where you talk through your mouthpiece. Then you have the talk where you take your mouthpiece out. Then you're really going to give him a piece of your mind.
A flag on the play again. Brad Johnson disgusted.
Ball start. Offense, number 76.
This is
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
John Jansen this time.
Yeah, this is the stuff that's killing the Redskins.
Yep.
I mean, they've been moving the ball. They've been doing everything they want to, but they just can't tie it together. You know, and then, you know, it's penalties. It's having too many guys in the huddle. It's all these things that are stupid little things that are just catching up with them. And the minute they take a step forward, boom, they get knocked back.
Well, the Eagles' touchdown drive was aided by 2 or 3 penalties against the Redskins. Here's Johnson back to throw. Incomplete. James Thrash. The intended receiver, that's Irving Fryer.
Yeah, they're still working on him. In fact, they didn't get him very far off the field. I mean, that's kind of dangerous working right there because the ball is about 10 yards in front of him, but it looks like they don't want to move him, and they're keeping him in that white area, which is the out of bounds right in front of their bench. So what looked like something not so serious looks pretty serious now.
Well, they don't move him like that. Here's 3rd and 20. Out of the shotgun is Johnson. Here comes the blitz. They got the ball out to Connell, who almost broke it. But they stopped him, but it got the Redskins in field goal range at least.
And watch this. Brad Johnson is going to get a blitz from this side, and he throws into the side of the blitz. That was a good pickup, but usually that's a tough thing when you got a blitz coming and you can't watch the blitz. You can't look at it, and you're going to throw to that side. See, here it comes here. He gets a good block right there, but he didn't even know it was there. He just stepped up and threw that ball to Alvin Connell.
Michael Houston from 42 yards. He missed from closer. And he missed again. He pulled it left again. Seven. That remains the score.
Watch this again. Irving Fryer and his injury. He's going to come in here, and he's going to have helmet-to-helmet contact right there with Tim Houck. And that was the injury. And again, it looked like a block earlier, but then when you look at it again, you see the helmet-to-helmet contact. Irving Fryer tried to get up, and then he got over to the sideline, was on his knees, and then he just went down again. During the halftime, the Eagles trainer came over to that side, and then he went running into the training room or into the locker room to get something.
In the meantime, Fryer is still down right on the sideline. They've got him on a stretcher now.
Yeah, and the amazing thing was he was right there on the sideline, and they kept playing, and now I think the trainers notified the officials that they have an injured player right on the sideline, so now there are no players on the field. I think they're treating this like, you know, Irving Fryer is on the field.
It was a helmet-to-helmet collision with Tim Houck.
And Tim Houck and Irving Fryer were teammates here with the Philadelphia Eagles
just last year.
Irving Fryer in his 17th year in the league. One of those guys that has been an amazing player and a great player for such a long time. And and really does it all. And then that injury was a result of his blocking. It wasn't a pass reception type of thing.
Well, remember, he was finally the guy who got Albert Connell settled down when he had that argument.
Well, his nickname is Reverend. You know, he's an ordained minister. But watch him. See, he went down. Now watch him as he gets up here. Watch his eyes. You see that?
Yeah. He tried to get up and did get up, I guess.
And he got to the sidelines. Then he was down in the sidelines on his knees.
Right now, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Detroit is continuing its mastery of Green Bay in Pontiac, Michigan, as Brett Favre came into the series having tossed 17 picks and 8 visits there. That's his 18th. Detroit on top 24-6 after Lamar Campbell's return for a score. Back to you guys in Philadelphia, Pat and John.
That is strange, the problems that Green Bay has at Detroit. And again, let's go down to D.J. Johnson.
Hey, Pat and John, Irving Fryer right now, they're calling it a shoulder injury. They say it may be a possible neck damage, but right now it's a shoulder injury. And they say he has full movement in his arms, legs, and full strength. But they're being precautious right now. A shoulder injury, but potentially neck. Back to you, Pat.
All right, DJ. Well, it's hard. In fact, we won't speculate. Back in Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium, where the score is 7-7. Irving Fryer is the injured Redskin.
Remember last year, Pat, we were here. We were only here at Veterans Stadium one time a year, and that was the Dallas Cowboy game, and that was the game that Michael Irvin injured his neck. And
that was the end of his career.
That was the end of his career. And Tim Houck was involved in that play, too. In fact, I thought it was a collision with Tim Houck, but they didn't have a collision. It was really Tim Houck was coming, and Michael Irvin went to duck Tim Houck, and he ducked his head right into the artificial turf here. That one there was Irving Fryer was coming in to block Tim Houck. And they had a helmet-to-helmet collision.
Excuse me, John, not to mislead anybody. Tim Houck is not a dirty player. He's a tough player who plays the game as it should be played.
Yeah, and I was just saying, ironically, a year ago here that happened to Michael Irving, and then, Michael Irvin, then a year later it's Irving Fryer. And now they're taking him Irving Fryer off the field on a stretcher. As DJ said, he was moving his arms and legs.
He appears to be speaking.
All those being very good signs.
Yep.
That's the tough part of football.
Yeah.
The injuries.
But it's a part that you're very aware of if you play the game. Here is Donovan McNabb back to throw it. And throws it to Cecil Martin. And Martin gets past the 40. About a gain of 9.
And one thing about Donovan McNabb is he just gets back there, and I don't think he has anything in mind as one guy he's going to throw to. I don't think he gets back there and says, I'm going to throw to this guy, I'm going to throw to that guy. He just gets back there and just looks and finds the open guy and really spreads it around.
You don't think there's a progression that he goes through?
There probably is some kind of progression, but I don't think he cares who the guy is, whoever gets open.
Well, here he is again. Johnson, the receiver, and that should be enough for an Eagle first down. 7-7 tie. The seconds tick away in the third quarter. In the beginning, it looked like this was going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, I think when these two teams play each other, that high scoring or low scoring, you don't know, but you know close. And I mean, every time they play, you know that it's going to be a close, tight game, and probably one team's going to win it in the fourth quarter in the last couple of minutes.
Darnell Autry gets the carry. Well, remember, the Eagles here have beaten the Redskins 9 out of the last 10 times.
Donovan McNabb gets the play, and then he just stands there for a minute before he goes in the huddle. He says, just to visualize it. And then he goes in and gives it to the team, and then gets up and checks the defense when he gets to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9.
He checked the safety right there.
McNabb steps up in the pocket, fires to his tight end, Chad Lewis, who's open. And he gets to the Redskin 43. Shade.
No, I was just going to say, McNabb's getting a lot more comfortable, isn't he?
Yep.
I mean, watch how he steps up here. I mean, that's what you try and do. That's what the pocket is. You try and take the outside rushers and put them to the outside, and then pin the inside guys in so that the quarterback can step up like that.
That's why pressure from the middle, from a defensive point of view, is so important.
You have to have a push in the middle, and the Redskins didn't get it then.
Autry might have gotten the yard.
John Runyon's doing a good job over there today as the right tackle. He had a little problem earlier with the speed of Marco Coleman. But I think now that the Eagle offense has kind of calmed down, I think he has things calmed down on that side. That'll be a good match to watch out right there.
McNabb to Pritchett. And Pritchett is tripped up by Marco Coleman.
John Runyon's like 6'7" and 330 pounds. Watch him pull on this play. I mean, he's right here, and he's right here, and he's going to take off and pull. You see if he gets a little thing there, and then boom, he just blots out the sun on that when he pulls.
We were walking up the tunnel after practice yesterday. I couldn't see daylight on either side.
You and I were there. So the thing that I like walking behind Runyon, he makes you look small.
Yeah.
First time in my life I've ever felt petite. Yep, John Runyon just moved on that one.
One thing about not being petite,
Ball start.
when you move, somebody's going to see it.
69, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Yep, and that's what you do when you're a big guy and you start to worry about speed. You see how he's back here and he's turned already. See, he's trying to get in a pass protection position to get the outside guy. So he was already back and he was already turned, and he tried to get another step on it.
Indy Kalu was the man he was trying to get adjusted so he could block him. Here's McNabb.
Well, he's
right here to take off. McNabb's going to have a 1st and more. Out of bounds, down all the way at the 22-yard line of Washington.
See, he knew that he could run to the left because he had a blitz from his right. If you see here, he's going to get a blitz from that side there. So he knows if there is a lane to throw it in, it's to his left. But he also knows what? If there's a lane to throw it in, there's also a lane to run it in. And as we're talking about, I mean, he's not only big and he's fast, weighs 228 pounds. He's not easy to tackle when he gets out there in the open field.
22-yard pickup for Donovan McNabb.
That was a big play. They blitzed from the left, and he ran to the other side.
McNabb drops to throw and does throw. In the flat to Autry. Autry about the 18.
McNabb has things going now. You know, he looked a little jumpy in that first quarter. You know, they couldn't get anything going. And then in the second quarter, he got things going. He took them on that drive, and they scored. And then in the second half, he looks a heck of a lot more comfortable. I don't know that his head coach, Andy Reid, looks a lot more comfortable.
Not yet.
No, head coaches never look comfortable until the game's over and they won.
2nd and 6. The Redskin blitz. They hand to Pritchett. Pritchett got by the first wave, but the second wave was right there. Sam Shade.
Now, Sam Shade's the guy that's there a lot. I mean, last week it seems like he was making all kinds of plays. There's Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator of the Washington Redskins, and obviously the guy that was the head coach here of the Philadelphia Eagles. Well,
Second down.
There's a flag.
Ray Rhodes was the head coach, I said, of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then last year the Green Bay Packers. He was fired by the Packers and hired as a defensive coordinator of the Washington Redskins.
$19 players remain on the roster. Dick Hantak.
That was marking off a 10-yard penalty for holding against the Eagles.
Takes them back out to the 27. Second and 16. Now is when you have to contain number 5, Donovan McNabb. He fires. Pass is caught by Chad Lewis.
You know what McNabb has now? Earlier, the pass rush was getting to him, you know, and it was making him do things. Now he feels the pass rush, and he's stepping away from it. You see here, you see the receiver come out, and then he's just going to come to the inside Chad Lewis. I think that's his 5th pass that Chad Lewis has caught. But watch, Smith is going to take it inside. Bruce Smith goes to the inside, and then he comes around. But McNabb knows when he feels that pressure going that way and that pass rush coming that way, he just steps to the left to buy a little more time.
First and goal at the 10. The handoff to Autry, who gets to the 8.
Like the Philadelphia Eagles are kind of running one of those running back by committee things. Brian Mitchell does it some. Darnell Autry does some. And then they also have Stanley Pritchett, who's a fullback or tailback. So those are the 3 running backs that they've been using today, just kind of going in and out so that they're saving Brian Mitchell.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Redskins 7, the Eagles 7. Fox NFL Sunday from Philadelphia will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Pat Summerall with John Madden back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 7-7 tie score. Been that way since about halfway through the 2nd quarter after the Redskins took an early lead. Now it's the Eagles who are about to take the lead.
And I said that Donovan McNabb really hasn't had a favorite receiver. You know, he kind of goes to his ever open, but he kind of likes Chad Lewis today because
yeah, he does.
Chad Lewis has caught 5 passes so far for 77 yards. So I would think down in this area, if they don't run the ball, that he's probably the guy that McNabb's going to be looking for.
He's been looking for him for the last 2 weeks before this. There's McNabb. Touchdown. May Brown puts the Eagles ahead.
Great touch by McNabb. May Brown is a normal 3rd wide receiver, and you see him in the inside. Charles Johnson in the outside. He just goes back. He's man-to-man on Darrell Green. That's the 2nd touchdown pass Darrell Green's been beaten for today.
The extra point is good, and the Eagles lead.
Look at the touch McNabb has here, getting that ball to May Brown. Perfect.
14-7, the Eagles lead it.
Back to Veterans Stadium. The latest on Irving Fryer, he is in the ambulance right now on his way to Thomas Jefferson Hospital. This hospital does have a trauma unit, although we don't know if he's being taken to that unit. I did get to see Irving on the sideline. He was moving his arms, legs, and speaking, but he did seem to be in considerable pain. Back to you, Pat.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened.
he missed the ball. The ball, I think, remember they've had trouble already where they had to have a holder in there. This is the third time it's happened to Akers today, but watch him. He's just going up like that, like the old Lucy and Charlie Brown thing. That's what happened to Charlie Brown. All his life, he would go up to kick and Lucy would, the ball would drop just as he got there.
Well, Lucy wasn't there.
No, I know. That was Charlie Brown. That's the third time that's happened to Akers today. First time going this way. The other 2 times were when they were going in the other direction. Maybe it's the tee.
Maybe it's the tee, or maybe the fact that he puts the ball so straight up and down. And doubling it back. Akers to James Thrash. Flag on the play. Boy, there have been a lot of penalties today.
Yeah, I was just saying, we have to be going towards some record here. We talked about the Eagles, how the Eagles had so many when they're coming into this game. The Eagles had 40 penalties, which was second in the league. I think Kansas City has the most penalties.
Had.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Number 55, 10-yard penalty. First down.
I also think that the Redskins have had more penalties in this game than the Eagles.
Kevin Mitchell.
In fact, they've had over twice. I just got it here that the Redskins have had 12 penalties in this game for 80 yards, and the Eagles have had 5 for 48.
First down, Washington. Their own 19. Johnson has it for his tight end, Stephen Alexander. And again, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, it looks like the Saints look to return home marching as Ricky Williams' first rushing touchdown of the season. He's got 93 yards rushing today, looking for his third straight 100-yard rushing day. 24-10 Saints on top of the Bears. Back to Pat and John.
14-7 at Veterans Stadium. The Eagles over the Redskins. Here's Brad Johnson back to throw it. Drops it over the middle to Stephen Davis. And Davis gets another Redskin first down. Out to the 47.
I think that's one of the things that the Redskins have to get back to, is get back to Stephen Davis. Remember how early in the game, in the first quarter, it was kind of Stephen Davis that had things under control, was running the ball, and I think to get him back in, and I felt last week against Tampa Bay that it was Stephen Davis's running that got him back in the game, and I think they need that right now.
They'll try again. He only gets a yard or so this time.
You know, the guy that plays in there and plays well is number 78, Hollis Thomas.
Yep.
The guy you see right there. And even Norv Turner was saying that last night, that he gave Trey Johnson a lot of trouble. And he said he's one of the toughest guys to run against. And that's his strength. His strength. He's not a great pass rusher, but he's very good at playing the inside run.
6 feet and well over 300. Is Hollis Thomas. Johnson firing deep, pass caught. That's Albert Connell, and that'll be a Redskin first down.
O'Connell's really done something.
Yeah,
That's that thing. He'd only caught 1 pass for 5 yards, and then he had that temper tantrum on the sideline, and now, you know, he's playing better, and they're throwing him the ball, and things are starting to happen for him. But again, the big thing in team playing, I don't mean to give speeches, but it's still, you know, is your team winning or losing? And, you know, now they're getting the ball, but they're still down 14-7.
First down. Johnson drops. Quick throw. Thrash. Close to another first.
One thing they have to do, if you're going to throw the ball against the Eagles, you have to be able to pick up the blitz. Watch, here comes the safety. Tim Houck is in there to bring the linebacker on the outside, but they do a good job of picking it up. And Brad Johnson, even though he really couldn't step up strongly, he could step up just to get the ball out there to thrash.
Here's Davis to the 25.
And one of the things Norv Turner said last night was you usually run the ball after a completed pass. So in order to run, you have to be able to complete some passes. And that's what happened there. I mean, they complete a pass, and then they go and run. With Albert Connell, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
One catch for 5 yards in the first half, 4 for 69 yards in the second. But again, his team still down 14-7.
2nd and 8. Johnson back to throw it. Incomplete and picked off by the Eagles, Damon Moore.
And then he fumbled.
And he fumbled. And the Redskins get it back.
Damon Moore is sick on that one because he finally gets him stopped. He makes a play. He starts to make a return, and then he fumbles, and then the Redskins get it back. That's going to be first down. But just Damon Moore is number 43. He's a free safety. The ball gets tipped and just goes back to him. And then
he wasn't touched.
Oh, he just fumbles that ball. So now, because see, it goes from Redskins possession to Eagles possession, back to Redskins possession. That's Redskins ball, first down.
At the 15. Here's Brad Johnson, lobs it to Sellers, and Sellers is out of bounds inside the 5. Even Davis, like his left arm has been stung a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulder. That's the way you hold your arm when you hurt your shoulder.
Skip Hicks will replace Davis. There's the lick.
See, he went to grab his shoulder. Yep. See, right after he made that hit, he grabbed his left shoulder.
This is Hicks. Said he's going to get in for a score. And the Redskins with an opportunity to tie.
And now this crowd goes quiet, and Damon Moore has to be sick.
Don't you know?
He makes the play, and he's running it back, and he just drops it. And he gives the ball back to the Redskins in good field position with a first down. Good run there by Skip Hicks, but a very good block by Mike Sellers.
Yep.
Sellers is the guy who caught the ball in the play before that. The Redskins use Sellers more and more.
Houston for the extra point to tie. And the extra point is good. 14-14 tie. We're tied at 14 with 10:15 left to play. Redskins and the Eagles. It's always, as you said earlier, John, always going to be close.
Look at this. 15 of the last 17 games have been decided by 7 points or less.
Mitchell retreats to the back of the end zone, and he won't bring it out. 14-14. Steve Davis just had his left shoulder rubbed down. He appears to be okay. 10:08 left. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader beginning with Terry, Howie, JB, and Chris on America's favorite pregame show. Then Jamal Anderson and the Falcons take on division rival Marshall Faulk and the Rams, followed by the 49ers battling the Packers, plus other regional matchups. All right here on Fox, starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, next Sunday. Check your local listing. Check this one out right now. It's 14-14 tie. McNabb goes high and outside to Brian Mitchell.
Well, McNabb had a streak going. You know, on that last drive where they had the ball and they scored a touchdown, he was 6 out of 6 on that drive. So he had that streak broken right there. You look at what he's done in the pocket. You know, just standing in the pocket. He's 9 out of 16 for 139 yards and his 2 touchdown passes. Out of the pocket, scrambling 5 out of 11, and his 1 interception was on the scramble.
Protection is adequate. Now it breaks down. And he takes off and throws it away.
And he can do that. That's the rule. They have a tight end box. And as long as the quarterback is outside where the tight end would line up, he could throw the ball away. See, as long as he gets outside this line, when he comes out, now he can throw the ball away if he throws it back to the line of scrimmage. See, he starts out here, and right now he's beyond. So now, no matter what happens, he could throw the ball away, legally throw the ball away.
3rd and 10. McNabb, incomplete, no penalty called. Intended for Charles Johnson. Darrell Green tripped and fell down.
I think that's one of their plans is to go 3 wide receivers. 3 wide receivers gets Darrell Green in the game and then work on Darrell Green. Because if Charles Johnson could have stayed inbound and if McNabb would have thrown that ball inbound, that could have been a big play.
Deion Sanders back deep for Sean Landetta's punt. Remember last week in Deion. He returned 157 yards to set up the winner. This time, nothing doing. Jeff Thomason down to make the stop. 14-14 tie, 9:42 left. 14-14 tie. The Eagles, Redskins. 9:42 left. Redskins have the ball at their own 40. Pitch back to Davis. There's no place to go.
Yeah, and there hasn't been any place to go. In fact, with that run there, on his last 13 carries, Stephen Davis hasn't had a run over 3 yards. So this Eagle defense, of getting 8 men up and not letting them run on first down has been very effective lately against Stephen Davis. And that's the thing. They say, the Redskins have to get that running game going. So now maybe they have to throw some in order to get some running lanes for Stephen Davis.
Throwing down coming up, 2nd and 9. Play pass. Open is Davis. For a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, a number of the new faces for the Saints contributing today. Jeff Blake, one of them, play action. Tight end Andrew Glover, another. He takes it 29 yards for the score. Joe Horn earlier, another new face with 2 touches. Saints on top, 31-10, 7:04 left in the 4th. Back to Pat and John.
Wow. When's the last time the Saints scored 31 points? Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where it's 14-14, the Redskins ball. Davis on first down. Nothing doing. Hit by first by Hollis Thomas.
Yeah, that's a tough thing we were talking about. Hollis Thomas, he controls that inside, and the thing that he does is he gets penetration. You watch here. I mean, he's going to get here, and you want to play as a defensive tackle. You want to play on their side of the line of scrimmage. You see him get penetration right there, and then he just goes right down the line of scrimmage. He gets his penetration and then goes right down the line of scrimmage.
In spite of being held.
Now that defensive lineman will tell you that happens to him on every play.
Yep. Johnson passes complete to Connell. About a yard shy of a first, but getting closer to field goal range.
And they're doing it with the pass. I mean, you come into this game and you think, the blitzing and everything, and the Eagle defense, it was going to have to be Stephen Davis, but the Eagle defense is thinking the same thing.
Yep.
And for all intent and purposes, if they've taken the run of Stephen Davis out of this, and they put the game and say, if you're going to beat us, Brad Johnson is going to beat us throwing the ball. Andy Heck is in there as a tight end.
They go the other way. And Davis is stopped short of a first down. Big down coming up.
Big down. I mean, that if they're going to go for it on 4th, then they should have thrown on 3rd.
Yep.
Because if you have 2 downs, then you should throw on this down. Here they try and get the power over there, and they just don't get anything. They get a lead, and the lead gets there too late. In fact, the lead gets there behind the running back.
Carlos Emmons came over the top.
That was a great defense by the Eagles. In fact, that put the Redskins, now they're going to go for a punt. I think they lost a little on that.
They did. Back to punt is Barnhart. Brian Mitchell watches it along with the Redskins. Bounce into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20.
Big defensive effort by the Philadelphia Eagles.
You never know how that ball's going to bounce, do you? Well, tonight it has all come down to this for the Yankees and the A's. One game to decide who moves on to the American League Championship Series and who goes home. Game 5 of the American League Division Series. Tonight here on Fox. 7:30 Eastern. Here's McNabb. Drops it out to Cecil Martin.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this Eagle defense and the job that they've done today. I mean, even when the Redskins scored to tie the game, they did have an interception there, and I think a lot of it is their defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson. That he keeps his players in the game. He plays a very aggressive defense, and all his defensive players buy into it.
McNabb. Martin again.
What Andy Reid is thinking right here, that he doesn't want to do anything stupid in this field position, because when you have your defense playing as well as, and in fact both these defenses are playing well, you don't want your offense to give them anything. You don't want your offense to give them any points. They're going to get points. Make them get the points off your defense.
3rd and 3. McNabb drops. And throws. And that's Martin for the first down, Philadelphia.
I'll tell you one thing. Earlier in the game, they were getting a lot of pressure on McNabb. And now not only is he under control, he looks much more comfortable. But I'll tell you, his pass protection is very good. You see that? I mean, see how he could step up, and not only step up, but watch the lane that they have, the throwing lane that's created right there. You see that move there? That creates that throwing lane.
Those offensive linemen doing a good job making sure he had that lane. 1st and 10. There's a handoff to Autry. For a game break again to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Cordell Stewart of Pittsburgh's second consecutive start and victory. 17 of 26, 140 yards, and that one touchdown strike to Bobby Shaw. Pittsburgh now 13-1 all time against the Jets. Back to Philadelphia, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
What did I see? Was Bill Cowher wearing his headset on his shoulder?
Yes, he was.
Maybe that's how you turn around a team.
2nd and 5. McNabb gets it out complete to Johnson. Short of a first down.
We talk about the Deion Sanders and and the good corners in this game. Champ Bailey is also one of them. We know Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent on the Eagles side. We know about Deion Sanders, but this guy right here is pretty good too.
And getting better.
Yeah, I mean, he's only in his 2nd year, and he's a guy that once he gets in the Pro Bowl, he's going to be in the Pro Bowl for 10 years, I bet.
3 minutes left. 3rd and 1. McNabb to throw it. Tosses it too high for Brian Mitchell.
Oh, and he's sick on that one, McNabb is, because he had Brian Mitchell wide open. And in fact, I think he went to go too much of a touch, Pat. Because he has him, and watch what he sees. We can see it from behind here. Right now, he sees him, he has time, and he just tries to dump it in there, and he dumps it too high, and it doesn't go in there.
And so Landeta is back, and so is Deion Sanders, is deep for Washington. We had an overtime game last week in Washington. We're headed in that direction again. This is a good kick by Landeta. Deion makes the catch. Good fumble. of heaven. Deion saying I was down.
That's Deion Sanders' second fumble today. Watch this. He's saying that he was down, that his knees were down. He has a jersey. Looked like that ball came out before his knees went down.
Yes. Mike Bartram made the recovery.
Watch this. This is a good effort, just staying with that.
Yep.
I don't know. That's close. Again, if they say that he was down, then they would have to rule down by contact.
Norv is going to challenge.
Turner is going to challenge that. Had they said that he was down by contact, the reverse of that couldn't be challenged. Now, if they didn't call it, they can challenge it.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field being a fumble recovered by Philadelphia.
There's the ball in his left hand.
But the rule is, does his knee go down before the ball comes out? It looks like it's simultaneous.
Just about.
I mean,
just about.
His knee is down and the ball comes out. This is what they're going to have to watch. Knee is down there. It looks like the ball could still be in. Now he goes down and the ball comes out. Well, if you stop it that way, his knee was down before the ball came out, or his knee was down before you could see the ball come out.
That I agree with. Before you could see the ball coming out.
Yeah, that's the thing, before you can see it come out.
Now let's see.
See, the knee is down, and he has the ball. And it comes out right after that. Now, again, remember the call is that it's a fumble. So to be reversed, it has to be, what's the word again?
Conclusive.
No, it's
irreversible, irrefutable.
No, it's not irrefutable.
Inconclusive. I'm trying. This is a Washington challenge. Andy Reid anxiously looking.
It has to be conclusive. That's the word.
Conclusive. Not
inconclusive, yeah. If it's inconclusive, it stays as it was.
Yes.
This is a tight one. This is very tight. I mean, I could see this one either way, and you don't want to waffle, but I'm going to waffle.
After reviewing the play, the left knee was on the ground prior to the ball coming out. The player is ruled down by contact. Washington is not charged the timeout.
And they get the ball.
And Deion Sanders just dodged a bullet.
Did he ever?
And that was about as close as you can get to it, because if the ball didn't come out, watch Deion. That's quite a reaction.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if the ball didn't come out before the knee, it came out shortly after that knee hit. Woo. You play, you go to training camp, you lift all them weights, you run those laps, you do all that stuff, and then someday it comes down to a little thing like, the knees, boom, here and the ball's out.
Conclusive.
It all comes down to that. Woo.
That's Thrash in motion, and Brad Johnson back chase. Screen pass to Sellers. And Sellers. Stephen Davis, I beg your pardon, not Sellers.
The Eagles have really bottled up Stephen Davis.
Yes, they have.
That's the thing. They have a good scouting report, and these teams play each other so much. They're in the same division. It's a big rivalry game. In fact, they're so close that the Washington Redskins took a train here today.
Yesterday.
Well, they took a train to get here. Yeah, they took it yesterday to get here today.
Here's Davis again. That's up close to a first. Thomas made the stop.
again, Hollis Thomas is having a big game today. I mean, anytime you're going to run inside against the Eagles, you have to get him blocked.
2 minutes left. 14-14 tie. First and 10 as you look at this. Defensive coach Johnson goes back to throw it. Has his man Larry center.
Big tackle there by Carlos Emmons.
He's made a lot of big tackles. Second and 3. Johnson fakes. Under pressure, throws. No flags. Incomplete.
And there shouldn't be a flag on that one. I mean, there was contact, but they were both going for the ball. I mean, Troy Vincent was a defender, and he was taking an angle, and he was taking the same angle, and it became a collision angle, but that was not pass interference in any way.
Third down and 3.
And the Eagle defense has been great in these situations, especially against the run. I would think now in this situation, North Turner has to call a passing play.
He did. And the pass is complete. James Thrash made the catch. He's hit immediately, but
this is going to be an interesting spot.
Mark. Thrash says he got it, and so does Dick Hancock indicate that he got it.
I think the
Washington timeout.
You can see he had to go right to the line right there. I don't know. It's where the ball is. I don't know that I don't know if he ever does get it up to the line. Yep, the ball hit right on the line.
Went out of bounds.
But you can't fumble forward either. But they already gave him
already moved the sticks, yeah. Nobody protested. So Washington timeout, so they have 2 left.
And that's what the Redskins had to do, because we talked about how, you know, and that third down run had been very, very difficult for them. And they weren't getting anything. And I think the Redskins got a break right there. I think they got a pretty good spot. I don't know that ball was past the first down marker.
A minute 10, 14-14 time. First and 10 at their own 45 for Washington.
And the Redskins still have 2 timeouts. The Eagles have all their timeouts.
Johnson from behind by Hugh Douglas. Never saw it coming.
Yep, Hugh Douglas beat Chris Samuels. And those are the big sacks. You know, we were talking about that with Hugh Douglas yesterday.
And that's when you do it.
Yeah, you can get sacks in the first quarter, the second quarter, but the sacks that count are the ones that you get right now in the fourth quarter. Watch him get by Samuels right there and hit Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson had no idea that he was there. In fact, they're giving Samuels a little help there. The help leaves him, and so does Douglas at the same time. What Samuels did, he had pretty good position, but he didn't get a pop. And you have to get a pop on that guy when you make contact. You cut off that point, and then you give him a pop, and he didn't give Hugh Douglas a pop. And that was a big, big sack.
This is an Eagle timeout. It'll be second and 21.
Yeah, we were talking about sacks and when you get them. We were talking to Hugh Douglas, and I said, you know, the guy that I always think of getting sacks in the fourth quarter is Reggie White. Over the years, it always seemed like he got them, and Hugh Douglas was saying, well, that's when I want to get mine, and he just did get one.
Here's Brad Johnson. Lofts it outside the Centers, and Centers is knocked out of bounds by Jeremiah Trotter.
This Eagle defense is opportunistic. I mean, they come up, you know, they look and they're bending and it looks like they're going to go down, and then boom, they just come back and come up with a big play.
Third and 15, less than a minute to play.
I wonder if Jim Johnson will, he'll blitz on any down. This is a time with long yardage that you don't usually blitz.
Got a 3-man rush set up, and the 3 come and nobody else does.
They're going to make a throw game.
Fires over the head of Connell, and they'll have to punt with 51 seconds left.
Yep, that's how you mix them up. You have some 4-man rush. That time, Jim Johnson decided instead of giving them a 4-man rush or giving them a blitz, I'm going to give them a 3-man rush, which means that Brad Johnson is going to have to throw into 8 defenders.
Brian Mitchell deep for Philadelphia. Barnhart to punt it. Snap is good. Barnhart's kick is good. But Mitchell will have some room to return. Almost broken away. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Mike Roig. The broadcast associates are Charles McDonald and Wayne Wilson. The technical producer is Bob Muller. The pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
This is an interesting situation here now because the Eagles have 2 timeouts, 40 seconds to go. Now, you would like to take a shot before overtime, but you don't want to take a shot if you don't have good field position. So the first thing you want to do is get it out towards midfield before you take any shot.
McNabb drops. The rush by Wilkinson. That's a big sack as well.
See, now they're going to try and get up and go no huddle. Now watch Wilkinson. He's right here. Again, that's just the strength. I mean, Big Daddy Wilkinson just has power. He just splits 2 guys. I mean, he just gets on a line. Now, I think that the Eagles can't force anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if they because they're second and long, that if they just do something conservative, because you don't want to have to try and pick up 15 yards.
This is a timeout taken by Washington. Andy Reid. Everybody around connected with this organization, the Eagles, is optimistic and positive thinking because of the presence of Andy Reid.
And Andy Reid is such a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there and he's come in and he has a program and he believes in his program and his players believe in his program, and he's an awful lot like Mike Holmgren.
Well, he coached with Mike, under Mike. Mannerisms are like Mike. Here's McNabb. Throws upfield, and it's going to be picked off.
That was the one thing he couldn't do. He just did.
That's Darrell Green down the sidelines, and Darrell Green is out of bounds at about the 20. That's the one thing he couldn't do.
No, they should have, I said they should have been conservative, and they should have gone in, and gotten into the overtime. With 20-some seconds, they're not going to get the ball up there, and then they try and do it, and that's going to be what beat them. Darrell Green again come up with a big play. You see, it was a bad throw. I mean, there was no way that was even close to any receiver. Nate Brown was the receiver, but the closest guy was Darrell Green. Remember last week, Darrell Green got an interception, and he got a strip. Today, he's been beaten for 2 touchdown passes, but he came up with a big play there. And I think that was not a good play by the Eagles. I mean, obviously it wasn't a good throw, but I think it was a bad call. They didn't need that play in that situation.
1st and 10. 23 seconds left now. Redskins with 1 timeout. And Davis. And he fumbles. They're saying the ball is down.
They've already gotten one of those. The officials saying no.
Davis was down.
Now they're saying that he was down by contact. Now that's not reviewable. The opposite of that is reviewable. That's what happened to Deion Sanders. If the official said he is down by contact, then that is not reviewable.
Timeout. Philadelphia. Their second timeout. Injured player.
I don't know. I think that was a fumble.
I think it was too.
Yeah, I don't think he was down. His knee's not down unless his elbow touched.
Right.
I think the ball came out because it doesn't only have to be a knee. It can be an elbow. It can be any part of the body.
We're in the last 2 minutes, so the coaches can't challenge.
Well, no one can challenge.
No one can challenge this one.
No, it wouldn't be. It's not challengeable because they say he was down by contact. The reverse of that, again, could be. But now, as you say, if it's in the last 2 minutes, it wouldn't be from a coach anyway. It would be from the booth. But again, it's a non-reviewable play.
Jeremiah Trotter is the injured Eagle.
You know, Husted still has to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not an automatic thing either.
Not for him. Not today, at least.
See, if you look right here, and see, he's going to trip, and then right there, these two guys are pointing that he was down, so that means he was down by contact, and again, that makes it non-reviewable.
Jeremiah Trotter still down as you look again.
The ball was out before he was down. But again, because of the situation, there's nothing that they can do about it.
Well, if you go back, this shouldn't have happened because that was an awfully strange call that the Eagles made.
Yeah, they didn't need that. I mean, they should have been satisfied after they had that loss. They should have been satisfied to, you know, just be conservative, take it into overtime. You're at home. This one here is already over and done with because they can't do anything about it. It was a bad call. And then to call that play was something that didn't need. And then for McNabb to throw that ball was something that wasn't even close to the receiver.
So here's Houston, who hit in overtime last week to defeat Tampa Bay, and now
kicked one from the right hash mark. Line left. Another one from the left hash mark.
Hook it left.
Hook it left. This one is just like that last one. It's going to be from the left.
Left hash mark.
That's where he's lining up. Look at that. They don't even get in the huddle. The huddle is separate. The huddle is on one side.
The Barnhart will hold for Houston from 24 yards out. The officials aren't ready yet.
They can't take.
They can't take back-to-back timeouts.
Philadelphia cannot take 2 consecutive timeouts.
And they were going to let them. But they can't. You remember, you used to do that to freeze the kickers.
Sure.
But you can do it one time, but you can't take back-to-back timeouts.
Houston. 24 yards is good. 4 seconds left on the clock.
Darrell Green hung in there. The Redskins hung in there. I'll tell you, what a game. This is a typical Eagle-Redskin game. Yeah, I mean, they just play and they play and they play and they play, and then one thing happens and the team wins. Deion Sanders is still smiling about that bullet that he dodged. He fumbled one punt return, and then he fumbled another punt return, and
they reviewed it.
They overturned it and switched it. Andy Reid saying, you know, it's not over. We've still got one play here. We're going to get a kickoff return.
Think we'll see the old throw it across the field, lateral a few times?
You have to have something. Look at Michael Husted. That's relief, you know, after those two go wide left. And he's on shaky grounds anyway with the Redskins. I mean, they were never sure that they were going to keep him. His is a week-to-week deal. But I'll tell you, the Redskins caught a couple breaks. I mean, that was a fumble there, but it was non-reviewable. Deion Sanders, as they got that back, that could have been a score by the Eagles.
Well, give credit to Norv Turner for requesting the review.
Yeah,
he almost had to, though.
Well, I mean, Deion Sanders started to point to it. I mean, the second that he fumbled, he started pointing. You know, he was down, he was down, he was down, and then, you know, they did. Yeah, but you know, that's what I'm saying. When you go to training camp, you practice, you do all these things, you work all week, you watch film, you do all the things, then it comes down to a review or a non-review.
That's Douglas. There's one lateral. There's another lateral.
You got to lateral it.
They threw it backwards. And now it's blown dead, and
where's the marching band?
This one's over. Andy Reid loses a heartbreaker. Norv Turner wins. 17-14, Washington over Philadelphia. This play of the game is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Vote for your favorite Dr. Pepper play of the day and enter the Dr. Pepper Big Game Day sweepstakes by logging on to foxsports.com. The interception by Darrell Green that set up Michael Husted's field goal to win it for Washington. This is Pat Summerall for John Madden and DJ Johnson saying so long from Philadelphia, where once again the final score is the Washington Redskins 17, the Philadelphia Eagles 14. Be sure to stay tuned to Fox Sports for the Autotrader.com postgame show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris right after these messages. For more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com.
The Autotrader.com postgame show is brought to you by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Coming up tonight, high drama, baseball postseason action. Game 5 between the Yankees and the Athletics. Will be coming your way tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, right here on Fox. The winner moves on to the American League Championship Series. And, of course, the other goes home as we welcome you back to our home here in Los Angeles, California, Studio 2A in Los Angeles, California. Let's get you caught up on the scores there. 17-14, Washington wins it.
Albert Connell, wide receiver number 83, gets in with Terry Robisky, the passing coordinator for the Redskins. That was in the first half. Second half, no assist. Irvin fired down. He collides with Tim Hawk, goes down on his shoulder.
How? That's right.
How? Okay, How has to lead now in the fourth quarter. McNabb back. We've got a game now. It's over. End zone, 8-yard touchdown reception to Nave Brown. 14 all Redskins. Skip hits out of the eye. Tight eye left. Howie, lead back kick out. Touchdown run. Now we're tied up. Now, McNabb out of the pocket. Under pressure. Don't throw it. Don't do this. You're killing your head coach. Intercepted by Darrell Green. He returns it. Donald McNabb, a young second-year quarterback, will learn, but this cost the Redskins, the Eagles, the victory. Now the controversy. Davis out around the left side. Did he fumble? Apparently he did, but it was ruled that he had not. Whistle had gone off, and then Michael Husted kicks his 20-yard field goal as the Redskins win this football game 17-14 over the Eagles. Wow.
Steelers, your Steelers. Boy, do they master the Jets. 13-1 all-time. Cordell Stewart, second consecutive start and victory as he guides the Steelers over the New York Jets. Jets now fall from the ranks of the unbeaten. And Chris's Bengals were ahead, but the Titans improved to 4-1. 185 yards by Eddie George. My goodness, make that 181. Washington
lucky.
And Philadelphia. Oh,
Washington's just lucky. I mean, really, you take the interception. Damon Moore picks it off when it's 14-7 Philadelphia. He's running down the field. Nobody touches him. He fumbles the thing away. And all of a sudden, then Donovan McNabb misses a huge third down pass earlier that would have kept their drive alive. throws the horrible interception at the end of the game. Yes, he is a young quarterback, but really inexcusable, the two mistakes he made at the end of this game.
You know, they don't. It's a W. That's the bottom line. They go to Philadelphia, something they haven't done in recent memory, and win a football game. They don't put the lucky next to the W. This Philadelphia team is a bright young team. They're not there yet. Young quarterback.
Interesting, that little diatribe on the sidelines. Albercano, 5 catches post argument with Terry Robisky. Back with more after this. Packers fall to the Lions 31-24. Charlie Batch ties a career high with 3 touchdown passes. Saints 31-10 over the Bears. Ricky Williams 185 total yards and a touchdown. Bills lose to the Dolphins. Dolphins have allowed just 22 points in their 4 home games this season. Impressive victory by Miami. And the Patriots over the Colts. Colts are now 3-14 in their last 17 tries in Foxborough. Baseball score, Mets on top by a score of 2-0 over the Giants. 2-1 series lead. Join us tonight, Yankees and Athletics, 7:30, right here. See you next week.